Hello you guys, it's Karina. So today I am gonna do a tutorial, and I feel like I haven't done a tutorial in such a long time, but I had this super cute idea of making some mini candies so you can use for your pen pals and scrapbooks or whatever you want to use them for. So I'm making this little embellishment box right now, and look at how cute these little candies turned out. So there's this one right here. These are probably my favorite. I think they turned out so adorable. And how cute would it be to put like on a scrapbook, like having them layered like that by a picture or something like that. And then I also made these little bags of candy corn. Which turned out adorable. And then I also made some chocolate bars and some lollipops. I don't really like how these ones turned out. They're supposed to be little like Tootsie Roll lollipops. So I made these ones instead, and I think they're just as cute. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I made these ones. So the first one that I'm going to do are these little candies right here. I'm using glassine paper, and the paper that I'm using is this one from We Are Memory Keepers, and I got this a long time ago at Tuesday Morning, but I feel like you can use cardstock paper or tissue paper, whatever you like. So what I do first is I cut a small little square, and then so I'm just using tissue paper for the inside. I just literally just cut a piece of that and then roll it around.
And keep rolling it around until it turns into a little ball.
And then I just use my glue gun to kind of help mold it and keep the shape together. This might be too big, I'm not sure. I'm just gonna cut a little piece off. And then I just kind of flatten it a little bit. So this is how it turns out. So then I just flip my paper that I'm using over, glue this right in the middle. So I think I might have used too much paper, so I'm just gonna trim it a little bit. So then I just fold it over on each end, make sure I cover the tissue paper. I'm gonna zoom you guys in a bit. Make sure not to burn yourself. And I think I might have cut it a little too short, but that's okay, we can make it work. So this is what it turns out, and I have super glue on my fingers. So then I just pinch these ends right here, grab my glue gun, and just add a little bit of glue on the side, kind of pinch it the other way around and twist it a little bit, which make sure not to rip the paper. And then you want to do that on the other side. So pinch it like so. Okay, I'm going to twist it that way. So I'm going to add glue on this end, just a little bit. And then twist it around. But this is what the little candy should look like. So you could just, you know, shape it a little more the way you like it. But I think this looks perfect. So now I am going to use my stamp set. Or you can just draw the little pumpkin face on. But I found a stamp that works perfectly for the little face. This is called Costume Party by Lawn Fawn, and I'm going to be using that pumpkin face right here. It's the perfect size. And then I'm going to use my block here, my acrylic block. And the ink that I'm using is this one by Memento Luxe, and it's in Tuxedo Black. That's just a little too long. And there you have it. You have your little candy, which is so adorable. So on to the next candy. So now I'm going to share with you guys how to make the little chocolate bars. So for this one, I'm going to use this foam tape from Dollar Tree. And I'm gonna cut it just a little bit, that way it can get more of that rectangular shape. So just the slightest. And then I'm just gonna grab my regular foil that I got from the kitchen and just tape it on like so. Make sure it's all covered. And if the ends are too long, you could just trim it a little bit. And I'm just gonna fold the ends. So now I'm gonna just get any strip of pattern paper that you want to use for the background. And I'm just gonna go ahead and use this that I have on my desk. This is Pumpkin Party by Doodlebug. Just cut the little strip off. Which I think this might be okay. Gonna eyeball it and then fix it up as I go. So this is too wide, so I'm just gonna trim it just a little bit. And I think this might be okay. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so now I'm just gonna glue the strip on. Put a little hot glue on the top. Make sure it's even on both sides. and using the same stamp set, I'm gonna be using this little chocolate right here, and that says King Choco. You can also just print your label out or leave it as is. And then I'm just gonna cut around and just keep this part. And there's your little chocolate all done. This one's kind of botched, but it's because I was doing it on camera, but you kind of get the idea. Now I'll go ahead and share with you these little bags of candy corn. So for this one, I'm gonna use some vinyl. And I picked up my vinyl from Walmart. They have like a huge roll for, I think it was like 10 bucks. It wasn't even that much, so super good deal if you're looking for some vinyl. I'm just gonna use this as like a little reference. So, I'm just gonna eyeball this and then just fix it with my trimmer. I'm sorry if it's kind of hard to see. I might have cut it too small. Okay, this is too small, so I'm gonna try it again. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and use this. So I already fussy cutted out some candy corn, and I'm using, if I can find it. So I fussy cutted the little candy corns from this piece of paper from Pumpkin Party by Doodlebug. So I just cut it like 5 to 6 little candy corns from there. And I feel like you can draw your own, or I feel like a lot of Halloween collections have candy corn on their paper, so you can always fussy cut that. Or if you have a stamp, you can use that. Or print them out yourself. So where did my vinyl go? So I am just gonna fold my piece of vinyl together. You guys, I found this super tiny mat at Dollar Tree and I was super excited. So I'm gonna use this to use my fuse tool. That way I don't burn my actual mat. So I have that plugged in, ready to go. Hopefully you guys can see the vinyl better with the green background. Yes, you can kind of see that. Okay, so I'm gonna use my fuse tool to close this end and just make sure one of the sides you don't fuse together. That way you can fit your little candies in there. And I'm using this as my ruler. I don't know what happened to the one that came with the fuse tool. I lost it somewhere in my room. So this will have to do. So just want to make sure it's even. It's kind of hard to do this while filming. I'm just going to use the mat as my guide instead. It's a lot easier for the video. So I'm just going to flip it over and make sure that it actually fused together, because sometimes it comes apart because it doesn't go all the way through. See, like this side didn't fuse all the way, so I'm just gonna go over it a few times. Make sure you don't go over it too much or else it'll rip. I think that should be good now. Okay, so now I can put my little candy corns in there. Actually, I'm gonna put my sequins in there first. This is like an old sequin mix that I had already done. I'm just gonna put a little bit in there. So I'm gonna get rid of the black. And you can just leave it without all the sequins, but I think it adds like a cute little touch. And I like how the seed beads look in there, so I'm gonna add some of that. Hopefully that's okay. So, I think I like how that looks. Now I'm gonna fuse it closed. So now I'm just gonna get a piece of different pattern paper. I like how the black looks. I'm gonna use some black pattern paper. So I kind of just eyeballed that. I think this is too small. So I'm gonna start all over. should be okay. This is why it's good to measure things, but I just eyeball everything. So this should be long enough. There we go. I like that. So that works for me. I was so happy that they had some tape at the Dollar Tree. This is such a good deal. It was only $1, as you know. But that's where I got my tape. And it works really well. So I'm gonna put tape on each of these little flaps. I don't like how long this one is, but again, you can play with the sizes if you like. These ones were perfect for me, but like you saw earlier in the video, I did cut the vinyl a little too small, but I decided to use it just for the video, and that way I don't waste too much of the vinyl. What I did is I used my printer and printed out the little candy corn label. So I'm gonna do that real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have it printed out all ready to go. This is using size 13 font, and I'm just gonna glue it right on top. And there you have it, your little bag of candy corn. So if you wanted to do the same size that I did, I'm just gonna measure that for you right here. And then just leave a little extra for the little label. That's how you make those. Next, I'm gonna do the little lollipops. And this one is super easy. So you're gonna wanna bring out your vinyl again and just cut a tiny square. Cut 2 tiny squares. So I have a bunch of these little wooden sticks that I picked up from the Dollar Tree, and I did paint one white. That way it can look more like a little popsicle stick. This one I already used to make these two. So I'm gonna use my punch, my circle punch, and you can use any paper that you like. I am gonna use orange again. And I think I want to use that stamp that I used before. I think this is gonna look cute. That doesn't really transfer that well on. I'm gonna try this one. Maybe this one would work a little better. And that looks a little better. So I'm gonna wait for that to dry. Okay, so I am going to flip this little guy around. And then, oh, actually, I'm gonna add some more glue and glue the other side. Okay, so obviously I used the wrong ink pad for this because it seems to be smearing a little bit. So it might be better to draw it on maybe, or just leave it plain like I did with this one. This is a piece of the paper from the Doodlebug collection that I'm using, and I just punched out that image. But just for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna continue on using this one. Then I'm going to grab one of my vinyl pieces, and then actually before I do that, I'm gonna make sure only one end is even. And then glue my little lollipop right on top. It might be easier to fuse these sides and then just have one side open, that way you can put your lollipop in.
So that is the end of my video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and if you make these, please tag me. I want to see how yours turns out, and I love seeing your guys' creations. But yeah, as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye everyone.